A very good morning to all of you. My name is Shruti Mishra. I'm Assistant Professor of Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today's topic is compensation management is basically for BCom honors and BCom LLB fourth semester students. Now let's talk about what exactly compensation management means. So first of all, we need to understand what exactly compensation means. The term compensation is a substitute word of the wages and salaries in the recent origin. Wages is now considered as a cost factor. Therefore, the strategic management of the wages and salary is very important for the organization. It has become imperative for the organization to balance the cost of the compensation and employee motivation to survive in the competitive world. So now the compensation means it is the combination of salary or the wages plus the motivation of the employees in terms of the money. Employee compensation is a better term than the employee benefits or wages or salaries. When employee do something for its boss, for its manager and for its employer, in the return, employer give some money or some wages to an employee for the task which he or she has done. So that is basically called as a compensation. Pay or compensation represent as an exchange the employee and the organization. It's an exchange between the employee and the organization. Employee provides a task or a work, and employee gives the money. Each gives something in return for something else. In the past, the compensation issue was often confidential and governed by the individual employer's preference and choice. Previously, it was depend on the employer's preferences and choice, but now there are certain guidelines which has been maintained and which has been drawn by the organization, and on basis of that only the compensation has been designed. So this task is given to the Wage and Salary Administration, which follows the following guidelines. So as I have discussed earlier, there are certain guidelines which has been followed or drawn by the organization. These guidelines are first a broad policy to determine a manner in which the program of the job evaluation and description is evolved and approved. So first of all, job description and evaluation has been done completely. Second, all the activities of the salary administration group must be properly checked against the existing company policy. So the salary administration group must check all the company policies very clearly, that any policy or any company guidelines should not contradict the salary guidelines. The third point is a recommendation of the top management about the wage policies for the administration of the wage program are given. Now, there are the third main role is the top management. Top management should be aware about the wage policies for the administration of the wage program. So on basis of that only the top management will going to sign or will going to signature on the wage policy. Now, besides the basic factors provided by the job description and job evaluation, those that are usually taken into the consideration for the wage and salary administration are. Now, there are certain other factors which are in the consideration of the wage and salary administration. Now, what are these factors? The first one is organization's ability to pay and sustain the strength. Now, the organization should have a capability to pay to their employees. If they are not able to pay their employees, they should not make any compensation, or their compensation structure will be very weak. Supply and demand of the labor and the levels of the skills. Supply and demand of the labor and the levels of the skill. The supply and demand should be match to each other. If it will not match, the compensation policy will not able to draw. the prevailing market rate government legislation on wages. So the organization or company should make the guidelines of the compensation only on the basis of the government's legislation on the wages. The cost of living inflation rate. The cost of living should be very much clear in the mind of the top management. So on the basis of that, they can draw the guidelines for the compensation. Next is similarly like cost of living is similarly like living wage. Exactly. Now next is productivity. Another one is trade union bargaining power and judicial directions. The compensation factor is also very much importantly based on the trade union bargaining power. If the trade union is able to bargain for their employees, they can make more, they can stretch the line of the compensation to to their employees. If they can't able to bargain, they'll not able to stretch the line of the compensation for their employees. Next is job requirements and working conditions. Job requirements and working conditions are also the part of the wage and salary administration, and there are certain other factors which are also important for the wage and salary administration for determination of the wage and. Now next one we come to the incentives. Incentives are the rewards to an employee over and above his basic wage or salary in the recognition of his or her performance and the contribution. An incentive scheme is a plan or a program to motivate an individual or a group performance. An incentive program is most frequently built on monetary rewards but may also include a variety of non-monetary rewards and prizes by the Brack and Smith. So basically the incentive means it is the additional amount which has been given other than the salary, that is basically called incentives. So when some employee does a very fabulous job in in his or her organization, then that employee get the reward in the terms of the incentives. So what are the prerequisites for the effective incentive system? The incentive plan should be simple so that it may be easily understood by the workers. It should be very simple, crisp and clear. Next one, the plan should be acceptable to the workers, trade union and management. It should be acceptable by each and every party. Third one, the incentive rate should be made effective, attractive so as to encourage the workers to give his or her best result. See, the incentive plan should be or incentive rate should be made in such a way that employees should motivate him or herself for doing the certain task and doing certain task with 100% of his commitment. Next is all incentive should guarantee a minimum day wages. See, all the incentive should include the minimum day wages. It should not be like that. It should not be like below to the minimum day wage. Now, there are two types of incentives. First one is financial and another one is non-financial incentives. Financial incentives can be the monetary incentives and non-financial incentives can be any kind of reward like movie tickets, like the employee of the month and these types of things which can come into the non-financial. Now, next is fringe benefits for the employees. What do you understand by the fringe benefits? Fringe benefits are those monetary and the non-monetary benefits given to the employee during the post-employment period which are connected with the employment but not to the employee's contribution to the organization. See, the fringe benefits are basically related to the employee but not related to the but it is related to the post employment period. Like if we talk about the need and importance of the fringe benefits means basically to retain the employees. It's basically for the retention of the employees. Those employees, if top management finds that some employees are very good for their organization and very fruitful for their organization, so they want to retain them. If they want to retain them, they provide them as a fringe benefit to motivate their performance. Obviously, if the employee will work hard, if employee will do better performance, they'll get the fringe benefits. If they will get the fringe benefit, they will definitely try to work harder for the organization and for themselves as well. As a social security, fringe benefits also works as a social security. It basically secure an employee from the social uncertainties. Fourth one is trade union demand. Basically, sometimes trade union also demand for the employees to give the fringe benefits to some of the employees. A skill shortage. If the employee is short with a skill, or the skills are very less in very less of the employees, then also a trade union and the uh, 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 employees ask for the fringe benefits. Next are the principles of the fringe benefits. Fringe benefits principles are, first one is satisfaction of the real needs. Now, fringe benefits also provide a satisfaction to the real needs. You do not feel unnecessarily not feel unsatisfactory with your needs. You feel satisfaction with your different needs when you get the fringe benefit. Flexibility. So fringe benefit is not something related to the monetary terms. It is basically a non-monetary benefit to the employees, and it can be flexible to the anything. The employee can the organization can give the car to the employee. Organization can give the house to the employee. This all can come in the fringe benefit. Proper communication. Fringe benefits, another principle is a proper communication. It educates the workers as well. Corporate the tools. It works as a corporate tool for the employee and for in between the employee and the organization. Participation. Last point. So participation means fringe benefits also motivate an employee to participate in the. Now, fringe benefits categories. What are the categories of the fringe benefits? That is car fringe benefits, loan fringe benefits, expenses payment fringe benefits, housing fringe benefits, airline transport, living away from the home allowance, car parking, property fringe benefits. These are certain types of fringe benefits which has been provided by the organization.